it's normal for people to have a certain part of them where they sometimes don't feel quite complete. Maybe there's a certain emptiness that people often can't quite fill. Even people who are very happy, who have things working out well for them in their lives, have a good family, good peer group of people, good job, good finances, health. Even people who on paper tend to have all these good things, it's not uncommon for people to feel that there's some part of them that feels a bit empty, and that emptiness drives them to think, okay, how can I fill that void? Even if it's not like a huge void, but it's a noticeable presence. That if you ever feel that kind of empty feeling within yourself, that that feeling really is the fuel, the fire to really get you to go out and make things happen. When you feel like there's something you want to achieve or something you want to experience or have and haven't done that yet, maybe you feel there's a certain emptiness that you want to soothe in that way. That kind of feeling is what really prompts you to go out there, live your life, do good things, for yourself, for others, have new experiences. Just maybe take the occasional risk, but what it all comes down to, that's the living of life. If you were, one might argue that if you had everything you could ever wish for, absolutely everything you could ever wish for, you might think, what's the purpose of living? So the point there is that sometimes if there's something in you that doesn't feel quite complete, like it's not exactly the way you want it to be, even though you have a pretty good life, that's a good thing, because that is the fuel that really makes you go out and try to make things happen for yourself, make good things happen for yourself, and to go out and just live life generally. But people who are either not very self-conscious about, how to use that incomplete feeling to their advantage, or maybe people who have a very big emptiness, this lack of purpose. If people who kind of fall into those categories, it's not uncommon for manipulative people, people with narcissistic personality disorder, potentially other manipulative types of people, to target those individuals, because narcissists and these extremely manipulative people, they have a very huge sense of emptiness for themselves, and they know that feeling all too well. And when they see that feeling in somebody else, they notice it. And if the person isn't well collected, is maybe in the pursuit of extreme validation, or in the pursuit of a person to fill that void for them in full, then oftentimes what you'll have this manipulative person, being it maybe a narcissist, think, okay, I can see exactly what this person is missing in their lives. They've maybe lived, 20, 30, 40 years of their lives. They haven't resolved this issue. I'm going to go out and pretend I'm the solution to all their problems. So that's where, if you're not careful, you don't feel well resolved with these incomplete or empty feelings with yourself, that somebody might go out and target you in a sense. They'll make themselves out to be the perfect match for you to feel complete. And that's a very dangerous thing, because if you, let's say you're 40 years old or 30 years old, 50 years old, 60, whatever the age may be, and you've had this kind of chronic feeling for a long time, and if you've always been the kind of person to think, oh, I just haven't met the right person to complete me. It's it's an individual who should complete me. And if that's how you kind of address that, then some people, like narcissists, will notice that in you, and they'll morph. They're com- they have this, this nature where they can adjust into playing whatever persona they think is most likely to get you to fall for them. So they'll morph into this persona that's the perfect match for you. That's a perfect solution to your void, your emptiness. And once they've been interacting with you for time, and you feel very bonded towards them. You feel very dependent on them all of a sudden, because they're massaging every emptiness that you've had within you, but not because that's who they really are, but because that's their initial investment for their long-term gain, which is, you know, once they decide they want to devalue you, or use you for whatever purpose they wish, they know that you won't know how to leave, because you won't know how to exist in your life again without somebody to fill that void within you. So there are people who will really try to target that in you. So just, you need to be careful when it comes to trying to think that there's one person out there in your life who can fix all your problems, or who can make you feel 100% complete. There's a lot of things and people and activities that can help you feel complete. And in my view, personally, I think the best feeling of fulfillment and feeling complete is really when you're not deceiving yourself, and you're on a path towards things that are those things that you want. Given the life you've experienced, weighing the pros and cons of your past experience, you learn things about yourself, you learn about where you want to head to. And as long as you don't deceive yourself, and you allow yourself to be on a path that's in the direction towards those things, and you trust that things can work out for you, that the universe does play to your advantage, if you believe it, and you're in the right mindset to kind of attract those things. For me, that's one of the best soothing things for any feeling of being incomplete, or you know not having everything you want right now. But if depending on the mindset of the person, and if they feel completely lost, and they feel dependent, or they have the expectation that there's a Prince Charming who might come in and fix all their problems, well, you will have somebody who will present themselves as the Prince Charming coming across in your life at some point, very possibly. But that will just be, an act, and most likely there's a manipulative person behind that who will give you short-term gain for a lot of long-term pain, and it's not something that's in your advantage. So, um, yeah, just to kind of just summarize the points that I'm really making is, it's not uncommon to feel that there's a certain part of you that isn't exactly the way you want it to be. Maybe in certain ways you don't feel exactly the way you want to feel. There's always going to be some part of you where you want to achieve something more, you want to have something more. So you're never going to have that 100% fulfilled, complete feeling about yourself. But just recognize that as the key with the drive to always be on the right path for yourself, because then you feel good, you feel great. If you take the alternative path, which is to expect one single person to be the solution to all your problems, then you might very well invite the wrong person into your life, and let's just say things will get worse and not better.